I'm going to do an insight video today. I've been talking over the last couple of days about a shifting in energy, like a transformation. This is still going on. I can feel a definite shift in energy and frequencies um, individually within my own energy field, but I can also feel them happening on the planet. And I feel sort of like as I was connecting in yesterday, I felt like when you just start talking about like higher self or infinite self and feeling like doorways or sort of like portals are opening up on the planet, but I also felt like my own energy channel was opening up. I felt like, and I still feel like it today, as I sit there and connect into the energy. I feel like I can feel like sort of like so when you start talking about like your higher self or you talk about like energetic, I'm like a clairsentient. So when I when I feel energy, I feel and sense it. So I sense and feel things stepping in and sort of energies around me. And how I can explain it is like at the moment when I'm sitting there connecting into it. If I shut my eyes at the moment, I see like a beautiful blue, a blue sort of like light that's sort of frequency that's behind me. And I also feel like this is sort of like blending with a gold energy at the moment. Gold to me is always source energy, source consciousness, and blue is also like it sort of like connects to healing, but it connects to sort of like knowledge, wisdom, but it also connects to like protection. Um, but I also feel like with these two colours as well, you know, when you start talking about sort of like essence in the sense of like having two aspects or two parts, I feel like it's very much sort of like um, two parts of the same whole, but it's like, you know, when you sort of like divine feminine, divine masculine, and it's like a perfect union. I feel like these two colours are like that. They're a perfect union. As I start to connect into it now, I've just seen like the colour pink coming in as well, which is very much around balance, harmony. Um, they say love, but again, it's about, to me, that's the unconditional sort of like vibration of source energy. I also feel like there's an infinite being, or so like an infinite sort of being that connects with me, and it's in the shape of, again, this sort of like, whenever I see these kind of figures of like beings that are stepping in like guides or teachers, um, they come in and they always appear white. They appear like pure intention, pure in vibration, pure truth, clarity, wisdom they bring. But I also feel like it, as this energy is connecting in, I feel like I'm seeing like a white energy or white light, and the white light to me is like the if I sort of like connect into the energy and connect into it, I feel like it's like a being that is sort of like this white being, and it's sort of like dressed in white, dressed with a white beard, white hair, and white robes, and the robes are sort of like very pure, sort of like vibration, a pure sort of like frequency. But I also feel like with the long beard, they bring this wisdom, this a lot of like infinite wisdom, infinite clarity, and the hair is like infinite sort of. Anything with long hair is sort of like energy, so they bring this infinite energy. So this is why I feel like, first of all, that when I feel this like connection to this sort of like white energy, it's, I feel like when it steps forward, it's like my infinite self that's connecting in, and it's connecting in with me, and it's connecting into the energy, and it's bringing this wisdom and this understanding, but it's also bringing this higher frequency, this higher awareness, which is what I'm talking about at the moment with this shifting. I mean, a lot of people are talking about sort of like the Lion's Gate and all these different sort of shifts of the planet. A lot of this is going on at the moment for a lot of us, that we're opening up. Like I've been talking over the last couple of days about sort of versions and aspects of self, which is like the multi-dimensional self, and it's been talking about creation and manifestation in a sense of creating a different version of self, but it's also telling you, again, when I'm talking about this transformation and this transmutation, which again connects to this violet light of Saint Germain, but I also feel like the white light connects to this sort of like Serapis Bay, in this sense of ascension and oneness that's coming through for many of us at the moment. I'm also seeing the figure eight, as it's now just going around my energy, or I can see it like a golden eight energy going like this within my mind's eye, And this is obviously the infinite abundance of the universe, but it's also the infinite cycles of the universe that is ever evolving, ever changing, ever sort of creating, ever manifesting. And I feel these are all going on as I connect into the energy. My heart chakra is opening up and it's filling. My third eye is filling with it, and obviously my crown as well. So it's opening up my whole energy field. But it's opened me up to this infinite source energy, which is the source creation, which is this golden light. The golden light is also like, whenever I've sort of like done healing in the past, the golden light is all what I've always seen, and that connects to like healing, source energy healing. But it also connects to like sort of consciousness, and in the sense of like this Christ consciousness, which is very much around again about sort of like harmony with all things, the unconditional. Like when you talk about like Master Jesus, he was teaching this unconditional, like this, like they said, like the Prince of Peace, and he walked, with this vibration, this frequency of love for all beings. But love for all beings to me again is connected to this six-dimensional vibration frequency. It's very much around the unconditional, which is what source light and source creation is about. The source vibration is about all beings are one, all beings are equal, all beings are part of the whole. Nothing is separate, nothing is. So it's the infinite sort of vibration, the infinite cycle of creation, but the infinite cycle of like birth as well, that we're all born from this source energy. And I feel this, this is what the teachers, the masters brought. Again, Lord Lanto, that walked this again vibration, this illuminated heart that Lord Lanto walked with. Again, it was a vibration. It was being connected to your source being, your source energy. And when you connect into that, you're in a higher vibration and a higher frequency, where you can start to see that we're all part of the same whole. So you don't need to judge. You don't need to judge others or judge anything. And when you can open up to this vibration and this illumination, then you start to allow the wisdom of your infinite self to come through, your higher self, and you also connect to source energy, and you start to integrate and bring wisdom into your life in a more spiritual way. And this is what this shifting is about, and this is where I feel that masters are working with. And again, you've got Al Moira, who's working on the infinite sort of the intelligence, the divine flow of the universe. So Al Moira helps us to open up our divine mind, our divine consciousness, to start to connect again. I'm also seeing, I've had these many times before, where I see these sacred flames, like these beacons, and again they connect to transmutation and transformation. The fire is, it's like rebirth. It's rebirth. We're reborn. It brings a higher state of consciousness, a higher state of awareness, but it also allows us to dissolve. And I feel like some of this is what this is coming through now. It's about dissolving again and moving, and shifting and changing our consciousness back to ascension, back to oneness, back to knowing that we are connected as a spiritual beings, and we're unified with all beings and each other. And this is part again of this oneness vibration that's coming through now. I also feel some the angelic presence around me at the moment. So as I'm seeing angelic wings, I'm seeing white angelic wings. I know that the archangels work with us. You've got Michael that works with us for protection, brings strength, courage, but he also sort of works with us to bring wisdom and understanding as well, for many of us to start to sort of like know that once again we're connected, and we're in times of Lemurian Atlantis. These are archangels, that are very much within the source energy, and are in universal light realms and frequencies that are not of the physical realms. And the angels were never born. Archangels, most of the archangels were never born. But when you start talking about Metatron, obviously he walked the earth as Enoch, and then was sort of like, when he went over to the spirit world and the spiritual realities, he came back as Metatron, as well as Sandalphon did, as being his brother. But I mean, these archangels bring this wisdom, and they work with us in Atlantis and Lemuria, and they're working with us now. They're bringing this wisdom. They work in many different realities and many different realms, and so they have this infinite knowledge and this wisdom of the universal wisdom of the universal frequencies. They're bringing this light and this energy to all of us at the moment. They're shifting and changing, and for each and every one of us is to open up to that vibration, that frequency at the moment. Know that you're a spiritual being that brings that spiritual light, that source light. And when we create from source light, we create from a place of harmony. We create from a place of balance and peace. And it's about creating from that place and seeing that we're all connected, that we're all part of the same whole, that we're all one vibration. And I feel this is what the masters want to tell us. I'm also seeing now like a book, like an old, very old sort of book, but it's like a universal book. So I also feel like the pages are very sort of like they're not worn, but they look ancient. So this is the ancient book of wisdom and knowledge. So I also know that whatever's coming through now, this is very old, ancient wisdom that's being brought back to us, and it's needed for this time because many of us have been caught up in that kind of 3D reality, the materialistic reality, which we all get caught up in because we're living in a physical world. But it's also about, again, when I talk about the universal law of correspondence, it talks about this inner creative space that many of us, once we start to access that, then we start to shift and change reality, and we know again that we can sort of like create and change that. And it's very much, and this is why this universal law of correspondence is so important, because once you start to access it and you access your own source light and energy, you create and you manifest from a very different place. It's not a physical place, it's an infinite place and an infinite space. And this is what I feel that we're being told and we're being given this, and that book of wisdom is also connects you to like your higher self, your infinite self, where you start to create from a very spiritual place, not a physical place, but a spiritual place. And this is what's needed for this time. We need to start shifting, changing that. I mean, I have things at work where I have people that, you know, they know I'm into crystals and stuff, and I try and be very open about that. And people come up to me and they say, "Oh, I've got a crystal. Can you charge it for me? Can you do this for me?" So for me, you know, again, that's sort of like walking in your spiritual truth, your spiritual light. And this is what this time's about. It's about being and vibrating in that essence, in that light, in that energy, and know that each and every one of us are the same. You know, we all have this potential to be these spiritual beings of light and energy, and express them, and express this light, express our truth, and walk in that vibration. And all that will do is it will help heighten our awareness, help heighten our consciousness, but also connect us also to the planet on a deeper level, but to each other as well. We're all part of the universal family, and this is what this time's about, and it's about opening up to that. But the transformation is the awakening again to the ascension, that we're all part of a one vibration, but we all carry this frequency of source light and energy, and this is why that's like six-dimensional reality, six-dimensional frequency is coming down now, because it's telling us that we can create, we can manifest, and we can shift and change. We're not stuck, we're not sort of limited, we're infinite beings, and all we have to do is just create a kind of version of ourselves that you know, that is more spiritual, that is more aligned with our source light creation vibration, but also our source light frequency, so we can start to manifest and walk in that light and walk in that vibration. And this is what this time's about, and this is what the masters did. That's why they were called the illumined ones, and this is what we're being asked to be illuminated, to walk in higher awareness, higher consciousness, higher frequencies, and use and express that. And you know, for me, it's like how I explain it is, when I'm within my frequency, it's like I'm conscious, but I'm present and I flow. So for me, it's like my sort of like my physical mind dissolves a lot of the way, and it's like I'm in my energy, but I can go within myself, within my own energy field. And when I'm in that place, I'm in harmony. I'm not touched by the physical world. It's a place where you feel very present. You feel very sort of connected and aligned. It's like my whole consciousness, I become an energy vibration of frequency within my physical body, and my physical body, although it is part of that, there's a greater aspect of myself, and when I sort of like go into that, I'm able to sit in a space where I don't feel I'm affected by the external world, and I'm trying to integrate that within my sort of like my working life, where I go and slow things down and try and be in that space. Because the external world and the physical world, there's a lot of things going on with the energy, where we're very much sort of like just distracted, and sort of like things are going on, and we're sort of like, we end up getting attached to things, and then that takes us away from that kind of space again where we can be connected, where we can receive that guidance, those messages. And again, the universal law of inspired action is very much connected to this, and also Archangel Gabriel that brings these messages, as all the archangels do. Uriel brings balance, harmony, peace. Shamiel does as well, but like all the angels, they bring this kind of vibration where it's back to harmony, because they know that that's the one true vibration. It's the oneness vibration of all life and all light, and all spiritual reality is being at one with source, light, and creation. And this is what the masters do. This is what all beings are trying to bring, is that kind of harmony back, where we can walk. And it also opens up the sort of the energy frequencies and the energy fields on the planet, but it also opens up our own source channel, so we can start to connect to that source light and energy, and we can start to again walk as these spiritual beings and be connected. And it's aligning all realities and all dimensions. Again, it opens us up to allow us to be connected in a way, in a deeper level. And once we move past that physical reality, then we start to create a more physical and conscious spiritual reality within our own sort of energy field, and then that will create that sort of like conscious spiritual reality within the external world. And this is how it works. They're in perfect union. The inner and the outer world work in perfect harmony. The external world is only a reflection of your internal world. So that's the insight for today.